Alright, I'm live on YouTube. Welcome to Robot in the Park. Excellent. Oh look, butterfly near the butterfly. That was so cute. Haha. Okay. Great. Now we can set up the butterfly ornaments. Now that I have the live stream up. Woohoo! Alright. 0 viewers so far. Live chat. Well, there's no one here yet, but maybe someone will join. Alright, let's see if I can share the link to Discord. Alright, we'll see if anyone joins. I shared it on Discord. I think it might have paused the stream, but it's back now. Alright, cool. Let's see if we can get these going. Alright, we have one person here. Welcome. Whoever is watching, hello. So it looks like as if we need a hammer or something to put the stakes, not stakes, but the garden ornaments in. The ground is very dry. Alright, let's try this. Here's Robot Butterfly. Alright. So, this Robot Butterfly has new wings. I'm calling these fairy wings. So this was the first go at the design. It's sort of solid right now, but in the future we'll add some more organic lines and patterns to it. But what was fun with this one is that the style for the printing, like the pattern that's used to infill, not necessarily infill, but the top and bottom layers, is this cool starburst effect, and it catches the light differently depending on the triangles that form the starburst effect. So it looks really cool. And this filament is translucent, so you can like point it up at the sun and it looks really nice. And of course it's still printed on the holographic build platform, so you get the sparkles there as well. It's pretty cool. And this one I modified Robot Butterfly to use a lithium-ion battery, 18650 cell. And so that's what makes it nice and portable. And of course it's light, so you can like catch it, throw it, catch it. So much fun. Alright, let's see if they're still tuned in. Oh my gosh, they're still tuned in. They must really like robots in the outdoors. Thank you to whoever's watching this. It makes it more fun. I have more things to show. Okay, up next is this type of robot butterfly. This robot butterfly has all of its circuit boards on the outside. So it looks really cool because you can see all the pieces that go in to make up the robot butterfly. Oh, I think I might have moved it a little. Probably have to hot glue it at some point. So this piece here that's wiggling a little bit, the blue circuit board, that's Keystone. That has the ESP32 microcontroller on it. And that's the brain of the robot. Then next to it here, the yellow circuit board, that's Boostlet. That's the power regulator and power input. So for determining the power source like battery or USB, and that's what it does. And then it sends also 3 volts to the logic level voltage, and then 5 volts for the servo. And then both those circuit boards connect to this white circuit board, which is nicknamed Chonky because it uses through-hole components because it's more fun to solder. Okay, so yeah, and on Chonky we have some sensors and buttons. So the big blue sensor here is the temperature and humidity sensor. We've got the light sensor, 2 tactile buttons, and then underneath, which you can't really see, but maybe a little bit, is the IMU, the buzzer. Yeah, that's all. And so then, oh wait, I did hot glue it. It just came undone in the warm sun. Oh yeah, we also have the ultrasonic sensor. And then for actuators and indicators, the 2 servos and the NeoPixels. There we go. Alright, let's set this one back. Okay. Wow, there's 2 people now. Thanks for tuning in. I think you can leave a chat message and I'll see it. But I think I'll see it. I'm not sure. Okay, more robot butterflies. So these ones over here are being powered by USB. Just makes it easier. So there's a USB battery pack over here. Yeah, they're just running a simple routine. But what's fun is you could change it to the ultrasonic sensor. So Now it's on ultrasonic sensor mode. So if you go like this, it's detecting. Now I'm too close, and then it does that. And then it goes back to that. I like that because it's very interactive, so it seems cool. Okay. Let me show you something that's new, apart from the wings. Hang on a sec. Okay. So the fun part of Robot in the Park is that you get to go on this real world adventure game with the robots. So there are stations for the various quests that you can go on. This is one of those stations, and this morning I designed the faceplate for this station, and it's Wings and Wind. So we've got a nice dual color print there with the design. So the symbol here represents wind, and then we have the text below, nice cursive font, Wings and Wind. So when you get to this station, you can do the quests that are about this theme. Oh yeah, and there's a space in the back of this piece, and that's where the speaker goes. That plays nice ambient music. Okay, so how about we embark on one of the quests? Wow, we have 3 viewers. That's so cool. Thanks for tuning in. And there's 2 thumbs up. Nice. Okay, so it's a real world adventure game with robots, right? So the quest Wings and Wind created this little info panel about it. So participants can read this if they want, or they could just jump into the quests or the challenges here. So these are all of the challenges that are for the theme of Wings and Wind. There's 6 cards here, and then they can open up to tell you more. So we've got turbulent versus laminar flow, sensing the wind, strategic flight paths, windsurfers, aerodynamic, energy conservation, and yeah, back to the first one. Okay, so for this quest card, what it says in, I'll just, hang on, do we have people listening? 5 people listening, okay, so I will say the card then, since there's people here virtually. All right, so we are going to embark on one of these quests. In the chat, feel free to leave a comment for which one you want us to complete. And in the meantime, I'll share a bit about this quest. Wings and Wind. Greetings, AdventureBot Explorer. The wind is calling. The wind is an invisible sculptor. It carves waves in tall grass, lifts seeds into flight, and propels the migration of butterflies across continents. Butterflies use the wind to their advantage while also employing strategies to contend with its challenges. The robot creatures are eager to understand The robot creatures are eager to understand the whispers of the wind, and it needs your help. Start by journeying to the observation point and completing 2 challenge cards. So the observation point would be the yellow plank right there. Explore the wind with Robot Butterfly by moving it through the air and observing how it responds to each shift and gust. Each discovery on this quest becomes part of the knowledge that the robot will carry to Mars, helping it understand the richness of Earth's natural world. When your quest is complete, find an AdventureBot guide, share what you discovered, and demonstrate the results of your quest to earn your coin. Cool. Okay. Okay, great. So, we've got the challenges here. Let's see if that has responded any. Okay. Oh, sweet. Sarah says hello. Yay, thanks for tuning in. Oh, the chat disappeared. Okay, well, that's something. There we go. Oh, there we go. It's back. Okay. Oh, thanks so much for sending the love. 4,000 kilometers away. We are being connected by the internet. That's so cool. Okay, so the quests. I'm just thinking about how cool it would be to like have the robots like connected somehow even though they're far away. Ooh, or the new robot flower. Well, the proportions would be interesting because the new robot flower looks like it might be a bit bigger than the butterfly. Well, that makes sense in real life because flowers can be bigger than the butterflies. Maybe like if we make the plant a bit taller and then have like the flowers around it, that would be cool. Yes. Sarah, let's teleport your robots. Teleport the robots here via 3D printer. Oh, did you just see that bug? Hello, Sonic Case. Welcome to my new robot adventure thing. My new robot collection. Okay. So, where were we? We were about to embark on one of the quests. Okay. So, turbulent versus laminar flow, sensing the wind, strategic flight paths, windsurfers, aerodynamic, energy conservation. Let's go with windsurfers first, and chat, feel free to choose one. Another one, windsurfers. Monarch butterflies, as well as other migrating insects, can surf on warm air currents, thermals, and ride the uplifted air associated with advancing cold fronts. This free ride allows them to travel at high altitudes, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of meters above the ground, and at speeds they couldn't achieve by flapping alone, up to 100 kilometers per hour in some cases. That's so fast. No wonder they can cover so much distance. To put it simply, they may fly high when the wind is gentle, or stay low when it's too strong up above. Okay, here's the challenge. Challenge. Hold robot butterfly low near the ground. Then raise it high above your head. Then find a natural shelter, such as a bush, bench, or tree, that blocks the path of the wind. Where is the wind the strongest? What happens when you place robot butterfly out of the wind? What would a butterfly do in the spot you are at? Glide, land, or fly away? In the present conditions, what might a butterfly choose to do? Okay, this is a fun challenge. So the wind conditions right now, it's a little bit of a breeze, but the air is quite still. We are located near the water, the lake here, and there are some ripples on the top of the water, so there's some wind there. It looks like it's coming in the same direction as the wind here, so yeah, that's good news for a tailwind. Okay, let's complete this challenge. Hold robot butterfly low near the ground. Alright, so there's definitely not much wind here. Then hold robot butterfly, raise it high above your head. Yeah, I can feel a bit of some wind on my hand. Oh yeah, that looks so cool. The new wings. Okay, then find a natural shelter, such as a bush, bench, or tree that blocks the path of the wind. So let's go over there. Okay, there's not much wind to begin with, but it did feel like it sort of blocked a little bit of the wind. And we saw a moth. A moth flew by. It was so cool. A little tiny moth. Okay, where is the wind the strongest? That is a good question. So at this location, it's not super strong. I'd imagine it would be the strongest at the top of the water at this moment, because then you have the wind sources of both from the air and along the water, because today the air is quite still. Though what's interesting is like the differences of altitude as well, right? So here we're just a few meters above the surface of the water, but then even taller up at the tippy top of those trees over there, they seem to be moving their leaves in the wind. So it's possible the wind might be strongest at the top of the trees, at least from what we can tell right now. Here comes the breeze. That's nice. Okay. What happens when you place robot butterfly out of the wind? Oh, when it's out of the wind, it will have to flap its wings to propel itself. With the wind right now, it would have a pretty good tailwind, so it would fly this way. So it would sort of head towards the city park direction. Not quite downtown, but it could at least make it to the next park with that tailwind and have some energy conserved. Okay, what would a butterfly do in the spot you are at? Glide, land, or fly away? Interesting. There's not much protection from the natural predators of a butterfly at this location. There's also not a lot of food sources or water sources nearby, at least in this vicinity. So I think in this case, it'd probably fly away to get to the higher altitude and then start to glide with that nice tailwind. It could bring it eventually to the banks of the river, right? So we have the lake here and then the river this way, much further away. So it could make it to the river and there'd probably be some wildflowers with some nectar. It could at least get a drink there too. Very cool. This design looks so nice. Alright, let's see what's next. In present conditions, what might a butterfly choose to do? I think we just discussed that. So over here, where the park has its boundary, I do see some little white butterflies, or perhaps they might be moths. And this might be because there's more shrubs and flowers and bushes over there. So it's possible a butterfly could tend to go towards that portion of the park, more so than this open field. Okay, I think this challenge, Windsurfers, is complete. So we have completed this challenge. Alright, let's see. 5 viewers, thanks for tuning in. Okay. Any requests for the next challenge? I don't see any yet. Also, I just realized these were out of the frame. There we go. So the way these are designed is that they can just be like this, sort of folded open and around the observation points or the points. This is so cool. Thanks so much for tuning in. It makes it so much more fun. The Eventbrite had a glitch, so the tickets were not available for like the entire week until I noticed. Oh boy, so no one was able to register, and I think at that point Eventbrite stops sharing it on the locations page, the events for the location, like the city, that is. So Yeah, that was unfortunate because then no one could hear about it or no one could get a ticket. So now there's 5 virtual people, which is amazing. This is so cool. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Okay, so let's see here. We can do another challenge. Ooh, a butterfly just flew past. Nice. The yellow one. That's so nice. Yeah, there's definitely more butterflies over that way where the shrubs are. See at least 2. Alright. We have the next challenge. Let's check the chat. Press the button. See what's up. Okay, cool. Alright. Challenge. Sensing the wind. Butterflies use their antennae as primary wind sensors to allow them to perceive wind speed, direction, and changes in air pressure. Cool, just from antennae. The antennae are covered in sensory hairs that act as mechanoreceptors. That's a cool word, mechanoreceptors. These then relay the information to the butterfly's nervous system. Challenge. Where would you place mechanoreceptors on robot butterfly to help it detect the wind? Feel free to draw a sketch. Close your eyes for a moment. How do you notice the wind? Is it the sound in your ears? The feeling on your face? Choose a plant or wild creature nearby. How do you think it senses the wind? Ooh, cool. So we've got some imaginative aspects to this challenge. Okay, let's go. So we've got the robot butterfly here. Where would we add mechanoreceptors to help it detect the wind? Now that would be pretty cool. So we'd have to make sure, oh boy, there we go. So we'd have to make sure that, where am I sitting? There we go. Hopefully that's good. Alright, so we'd have to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of the wings. And the wings have an interesting movement path because their shape goes outwards a bit. So if we were to put them, let's say, on these button pads here, but sticking straight up, they'd get in the way. So it's possible for a robot, the best place may even be at the back. So like imagine here, and they're just outwards like this. It could be sort of like a tail. That'd be neat. Imagine if butterflies had tails in the same way that they have their wings. That would be interesting. I wonder if they could ever evolve that. Because presently, in order for them to adjust their lift, they have to twist their wings, and they do that by arching their main body. And I'd imagine that their body is a bit more rigid than their wings, so that probably takes a bit of energy. Whereas if they had a tail, maybe that would be easier. But maybe it might slow them down as well. Alright, mechanoreceptors to sense the wind. We're going to have them extending outwards here from robot butterfly. That'd be cool. close your eyes for a moment. How do you notice the wind? Is it the sound in your ears, feeling on your face? Yeah, I think the perception from the skin is definitely an important aspect. Now it's interesting, the instructions here say close your eyes, but the eyes can also be a visual for sensing the wind, because I'm seeing these little pieces of clover move in the wind. The rustling of the leaves, that's such an interesting sound because it's the collective of the leaves rustling that makes it noticeable. If it's just one leaf on its own, you might not perceive it. Okay, next. Choose a plant or wild creature nearby. How do you think it senses the wind? Ooh, cool. So we could choose one of these pieces of clover. Right. We have a piece of this clover here. So for plants sensing the wind, it's interesting because wind helps plants become stronger for their stem and for their stalk. Because if these were to grow in low gravity and in a habitat without wind, they wouldn't be as strong or resilient to these external forces, such as wind. That's because this part wouldn't have developed or essentially thickened or became stronger. So it's almost like as if for plants, well, maybe this clover in particular, it senses wind at the cellular level because that tells it how to grow stronger in some locations. Alright, and what about the leaves of the clover? How would it sense the wind? I'm not sure if these would sense the wind. It's an interesting question because would a dandelion seed sense when it is flying through the air? Or would it just be a dandelion seed that happens to no longer be attached to its plant? Well, maybe it's more of a philosophical question than a science question. Okay, let's see how we did here. Alright, we've completed all of the questions for this challenge, for this quest, Wings and Wind. Alright. Very nice. Alright, let's see what we got here. Chat. A Ramsay 2000 says we are all quiet in here. It's alright. It's nice to enjoy the quiet of nature. Let's see if we can. Oh, look, there's a robin just behind. Oh, I don't know if you can see the robin. It's in the shadow. I don't think you can see it. Alright, let's put more of the garden ornaments together. The next color is magenta. Oh, that one broke. There we go. So there's also these mini wings. They're just like the other classic wings, but they're mini sized. They look so cute. The yellow butterfly right there has the mini wings, and in comparison to um, the dual color magenta blue there, they're tinier. It just looks cute. For the garden ornaments, it uses the same wings as Robot Butterfly, so they clip into this piece that I designed with these flexures, and then they can attach onto the wooden dowel. That looks pretty cute. Very cool. Okay, let's see. Jim the Hermit says, "Where are you, Robo Girl?" I am located, well, we're set up right now in Kingston, Ontario. Yep, so A. Ramsay is correct, Kingston, Ontario. So um, this body of water here is Lake Ontario, and then behind that, maybe you can see, is one of the islands. I think that might be Wolf Island, and there's wind turbines set up on that island, which is really neat to see in the skyline. And this park is located just west of the Tet Center and the Isabel Bader Center. So that means that the Tet Center and the Isabel Center is right there, just that way. And then the river would be much further that way. So we can't see the river from here. But if a butterfly was flying with the tailwind today, it would go directly to the river. So that river is the Cataraqui River, and it leads into the... Wait, is it? Actually, I might be mistaken there. What I remember is that the St. Lawrence River goes into the Cataraqui River, and then that goes into Lake Ontario. But we should check that. Either way, one of the rivers is that way, and then it leads into the lake here. And yeah, it's a beautiful July day here in summer. No heat wave. It doesn't feel like a heat wave today. Yeah, just good sunny day, warm temperature, a little bit of humidity, but not too much. Yeah, that's the location. Oh yeah, and the park for this, it's not well known as an official park. So we've been calling it St. Helens Park because it's on the St. Helens complex land, which we received permission to be here. And as well, we got the insurance to be here. So yeah, it's just this little park that we can be set up in and have a lot of space dedicated for the robots. So over here, we have it sort of zoned off with some pylons in case if our Eventbrite was working and we had participants here, they would know that this is the main area for the robots. And yeah, it's pretty nice. As always, make sure you have bug spray on your ankles. Yeah, that's about it for the location, really. That was probably a way longer answer than anyone was expecting. All right, let's see what else. Okay, here we go. A. Ramsey says, "I missed the first 15 minutes. Can you describe the project you have made? It looks like a robot environment project for youth, perhaps?" All right, great. Well, yeah, that's a great guess. And I'm glad that it looks that way because that is indeed what it is. So, got robot butterfly here. Okay, so project Robot in the Park is what the project is known as, and it's an evolution of what we did previously with Bowie the robot, where we would have field tests in local parks, or in that case on Westboro Beach. So what we noticed was that this is a really cool way to get people interested and involved with robots by putting them outside and connecting them with nature. So the next evolution from that is robot creatures, the first one being robot butterfly. And the whole overarching premise of Robot in the Park is to raise awareness for the environment through creative robots, such as this one. So Robot Butterfly is this platform I created. Oh, there's an ant on this one. So this is what Robot Butterfly is comprised of. And in the future, there will be different creatures that use the same configuration of electronics and actuators and lights. So with Robot in the Park, there are quests that participants get to go on, because it's like a real world adventure game with robots. So the participants get to be hands-on with the robot. Like you can see here, I'm holding the robot, can even toss it in the air, play with it. It's like a real robot creature. These robot creatures are destined to go to Mars, but before they do so, they have to learn all about the richness of Earth's nature. And that's why participants are going on these quests and challenges with the robots, is to teach them all about the beauty and the richness of Earth's nature. So, for example, one of the quests is called Wings and Wind, and the quests are at different stations. So right there with the yellow plinth, that's the first station. And it's all about wings and wind, and then there's 6 different challenges relating to that theme. And it involves like interacting with the robot, thinking about nature, interacting with the surroundings, the wildlife around us. And then once they complete it, then the participant gets a little reward, a coin or a token, or a sticker or a postcard. And the best part is that we're out here in nature, enjoying the wildlife, the outdoors. We have these robots here, so we're connecting the robots to nature. And these are robots that people can make on their own as well. It has 3D printed pieces, the electronics, you can solder your own. And we are running a workshop with the local Boys and Girls Club, where there are 7 participants building their own robot butterflies. So this means that by the end of summer, they'll be able to bring their robot creatures to our events in the outdoors and have participants admire their creation. They'll be able to tell them about their process of making the robot butterfly and what their experience was, what they learned, and even if they've made any modifications to their own robot butterfly. So that's the project, Robot in the Park. We have a website, robotinthepark.org. We're pretty well just getting started for the summer, even though it's maybe halfway through the summer, but we still have the whole of August to go and the last 2 weeks of July. And of course September when everyone's back here. Maybe some of October too, if the weather's still good. That's Robot in the Park. The reason why there's not many participants here today is because I made a mistake on the Eventbrite. But the good news is that you all are here through the live stream. 5 people, which is awesome. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope to do more of the live streams, just have it set up and rolling. That would be pretty cool. So the next steps for Robot in the Park is I'm going to be making more of these robot butterflies, more of the stations, more of the challenges and quests for different themes. One of the stretch goals would be um, so that it would be a little bit different. So imagine when participants arrive, they could have the choice of three different biomes or three different themes, and they choose their robot for that theme, and then they go on quests with that robot specifically. That will depend on just like how much time it takes to get all of that organized for the robots and for the flights and for the stations. But yeah, that's Robot in the Park, and if if it's successful, if it's successful for this summer, maybe we could have it in more locations next summer and have various chapters in the world. Recently, there's been a robot butterfly in Scotland, and it was so cool to see. Like, this is a robot butterfly in a different location. Robot Butterfly is open source hardware and software, so if anyone out there wants to create their own, they can. Or we have kits. You can buy the kit on our store. And yeah, they're available right now. They're shipping right now. I made them in advance so that way people could just purchase one and make it, and there wouldn't be much of a delay on our end. Um, yeah, I'm excited because with this like platform, we can make different creatures such as bees, dragonflies, uh, different wings for butterflies, ladybugs, maybe like a lightning bug, but like a fun, like a joke version of a lightning bug. So it's like lightning wings, like a comic of a lightning strike. That'd be pretty funny. And yeah, another stretch goal is to get the butterflies connected to the internet. So writing the MQTT code for that, uh, that would be really great. Um, and then imagine then we could have the butterflies connected from various parks around the world on the event days. That would be super cool. So since the microcontroller inside of the robot butterfly is an ESP32, it can connect via Wi-Fi. So um, I think an Android phone can, in access point mode, connect 8 devices. So 8 robot butterflies connected to the internet would be really cool. And then perhaps like folks like you on the live stream could then control the robot butterflies and orchestrate them. Or even locally, if we had a Raspberry Pi running the MQTT broker, then they could connect, and then we could have a console where you could press buttons and it syncs the robot butterfly movements. Or even a more natural way with the distance sensor, have them all connected. Yeah, so that's a stretch goal there, adding the MQTT functionality. Yeah, a bit of a ramble, but I think that gives an overview of the project. It's a social initiative, the robot in the park aspect, and then we have the technical side with the actual robot creations. It's fun to be outside and have technology where you wouldn't really expect it. It gives you a different perspective on how we create pieces of tech, prototypes or robots. Yeah, let's see if there's more questions. Okay. Oh, wow, we have 6 people. All right, let's see here. Live chat. Okay. All right, hey Ramsey, I hope that answers your question. Oh, yes, and is it for youth? Yeah. The workshops at the Boys and Girls Club are for ages 13 to 18. And what we've typically seen for the age ranges is Robot Butterfly is designed for the intermediate skill level, which is great because then once they're finished with Arduino and Lego, they can jump into this project, and it serves as a bridge between the beginner stage and then a bridge between like when you're going to make your own prototypes. So it's certainly the robot I wish I had as a bridge for that, uh, for that that incline of the learning curve. That's for sure. So yeah, they get to be hands-on with skills for soldering, and they get to see how it comes together as like a nice, clean piece. So it helps them to see, like tangibly see hands-on how to create a prototype, and that will serve them well for when they want to make their own devices to solve various challenges in the world. Yeah, so another age group that we have seen is uh, sort of like a little bit older than my age, where they have young children and they want to build it together. So the professional would then be building it with their young kid, um, and yeah, it's just sort of like a good weekend family project as well. If you're a young professional, it's a fun project uh, just to build, and you can put it on your shelf and it looks cool. So those are the three main ages. Yeah, we should try to get some more older folks building robot butterflies and have them join in on the fun. Get some seniors building it. Then we cover all of the age ranges then. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, live chat. 100% sounds awesome. Thank you, A. Ramsey. Jim the Hermit says, not where. Was she called Robot Girl a few decades ago? Decades. I updated my nickname from Robot Girl to Robot Zwirl with a Z. Robot Zwirl with a Z, because Zs are more awesome. It sounds cooler, like a swirl, but with a Z. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same nickname, but my portfolio online is at robotzwirl.xyz. So that's where my portfolio website is nowadays. Yeah, that's my nickname. Hope you like it. If you don't, well, oh well. Sorry. Yeah, Robot Swirl with a Z. And it's fun when doing it in a signature because the Z is like kapow. It's fun. Yeah. Okay. That was silly. Sounds awesome from A. Ramsey. Thank you very much, A. Ramsey, and thanks for the great questions. Wow, 6 people. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. That's so cool. Definitely makes up for that Eventbrite mistake. I don't think I'll live that one down for at least the next few months. Eventually what I want to do is to have the plank be a bit taller. So like maybe about this height or so. So I'm thinking like some pieces of MDF, and then they would go down there, like that. And then MDF, like black, and then with some outlines of robot butterfly wings, or just butterfly wings in general. And I think that would add to the appearance, or sorry, it would add to the experience a little bit better, because then there's a focal point, more so of it just being on the ground. It would be a bit taller. You'd get to see the details a bit more. So the plank, the yellow plank itself, that was 3D printed with a 0.8 millimeter nozzle. It's good to print it with a fresh spool of filament, so it does use up a bit more than half of a 1 kilogram spool of filament. Yeah, that's easily replicable, and yeah, it's something that we can print for multiple planks. And then we have the face plate on the front of the plank. And that face plate is interchangeable. So like we made this morning. So for the different quests, then we can swap out this face plate. There's just heat set inserts on the inside with the M3 fasteners there. And then eventually here, I'll glue the Robot in the Park logo with the little Furbot mascot right there. And this plank, it's 2 pieces fastened together. So we have this piece up here, which was made so that way we could define the angle. So for example, I think this is, I'm not sure the angle, but anyway, if we noticed that it was too much of an incline, then we could adjust it without having to reprint the large plank. And then inside, that's where the speaker goes. And then there's more spaces for accessories. And then the base here, we've got some M6 spaces for M6 heat set inserts, and then M3 heat set inserts. So yeah, that's the plank design. Hello. Oh, awesome. Well, thanks. So our project is called Robot in the Park.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've got it all set up for filming and everything. This is very nice.
Oh yeah, it's basically for participants to come and join in a real world adventure game with robots.
That's so fun. Okay, well, I won't do that today because my dog is coming and she's a whippet. She's quite interested in things that move, so
Cool.
I wanted to make sure, I don't want her to disturb your...
Oh yeah, she's more than welcome.
This is so pretty.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to see more up close? You can even hold on to it.
Is this from Queen's Robotics?
No, it's initiative itself.
Yourself? How wonderful. Wow, I really like that. Look at that.
The power of that battery? Or,
Yeah, that was hard.
When they light up.
yeah, so you made all chips yourself?
Oh yeah, I can actually show you that part too. So this is Robot Butterfly.
Yeah.
And comprised of 3 main circuit boards. So these 2 we make in-house. This one's the microcontroller. This one's for the power. And then this one has all the glue for the peripherals.
So, I got the pictures of the cookie.
Yeah, exactly. It's all programmable. Yeah, the fun part is that we're running a workshop with the Boys and Girls Club, and so they're going to be making their own robot
This
butterflies.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
When my son was little, in the summertime, Queens used to run a robotic summer camp.
Yeah.
And he went to that every year, which is why I was looking at what you're
nice.
doing. It's such a great experience for kids to sort of spark their interest in something like this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And what we found is that we're targeting it towards the intermediate skill
That's
level.
yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so once they're done with Lego and once they're done with Arduino breadboards,
Right.
they can do this project,
Yeah.
and it serves as a really good bridge from like the beginner stage to when they want to make their own
Right.
prototypes.
It really does.
So,
It really. I'm glad
yeah.
to see that's continuing on because I don't think Queens does that intermediate robotics summer program anymore. This is fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I came over.
Yeah, thanks so much for
Thank you so much.
stopping by. Come by again next time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 participants. That was awesome. That was so cool. Okay, yeah, so the plinth, and then, so with these mounting points here, I'll make another piece, and then that will have the way for the MDF to stick in. And the MDF, it'll be so simple. It'll just be like a simple piece of hobby board, 1/8 inch, and then just cut with like an X-Acto knife, bending it over the side of the table to slice it, cut it. And then those 4 pieces like that, and then a base that will also be 3D printed. And then on that base, there will be an outer lip with M6 mounting points, 3 of them, so that way it becomes like a tripod, and then with an M6 fastener you can move it up or move it down through the heat set insert to do fine-tuning adjustment, so that way it can be level, because with this part here, it's on an incline because it's going down to the lake. The glaciers probably didn't carve out this portion of the land, so that's why it's not the lake. That's why it's not filled with water. So yeah, that's the plinth. It's interesting because the plinth is like a whole project in itself, and it could even be brought to the next level. Like imagine if there was inductive charging in the plinth. Imagine if there were neopixels in the plinth. It's like, this is something to look forward to if the project Robot in the Park is a success this summer. That's something to look forward to for next year, is to make really cool stations and have those available, because that would also add a nice element to the experience as well. Alright, let's see what else is up here. Live chat. Okay, Jim the Hermit says, I think I met you at the Makers Fair in Flushing, Queens. Yeah, Maker Fair, New York. That was at the New York Hall of Science back then for Maker Fair. I had a robot called RoboBird, and RoboBird was my first go at making a robot kit. So in a way, RoboBird is similar to Robot Butterfly because it has the same number of actuators too. Actually, RoboBird had 3. Technically on Robot Butterfly there's space for 3 that I made on the circuit board layout. Anyway, yeah, Maker Fair, New York, Hall of Science, I had RoboBird. I exhibited that and then created it as a kit. Had an Indiegogo, and that was before Kickstarter was available in Canada. Had an Indiegogo, and 100 people, such as viewers like yourselves, backed it and got a RoboBird kit. So that sort of laid the groundwork for making these products that are designed for like assembly as a kit. That's RoboBird was one of the robots I was reflecting on a lot, making Robot Butterfly. I wanted something in between Bowie and RoboBird as the next project, and that's how Robot Butterfly sort of was envisioned. Bowie's sort of like a $1,000 robot, so we needed something a bit less than that for more people to get involved with. RoboBird was cool also because it was connected to an iPad app that I made. And on this iPad app, it had a picture of RoboBird in nature. So again, with the nature themed, and you could drag and drop these icons of fruit into the virtual RoboBird's mouth or beak. And then the real life version of RoboBird would then open and close its beak because it's eating the virtual fruit. We've also done more of those sorts of digital physical projects where there was this one where it was a fluid simulation. That might not have been with RoboBird actually. But no way, I think I did one with RoboBird. It was a fluid dynamic simulation on a computer screen, lots of cool colors. And if you shined light into oh my gosh, there's so many robots. You shined lights into RoboBird's eyes, then it would interact on the screen. Oh my gosh, and how could we forget the Google Plus Hangouts with the robot party? I made a web page where you could control RoboBird remotely from a Google Plus Hangout. And back then, we had so many followers on Google Plus. It's a type of social network, and people could interact with RoboBird from like that web page and see it move on the live stream. That was so cool. So yeah, back to thinking about the stretch goals for Robot Butterfly. If we get that MQTT done, then we can make similar experiences as back then, have it connected. Oh yeah, what a cool insight there. I forgot about that. Thanks for the prompt to remind me of it. Let's see, what else about Maker Faire New York? At one point, Maker Faire New York was coinciding with the Open Hardware Summit, and that was pretty neat. So yeah, I wonder if there will be another Maker Faire New York at the New York Hall of Science. That would be pretty cool. All right, let's see what else. Live chat. Here we go. Delaware Pilot says, wonder if you could add a RFID chip. Then you could add RFID tags to, oh, it disappeared. Then you could add RFID tags to 3D printed challenge coins. You could put that in nature to unlock butterfly behaviors. Oh, that would be cool. Oh man, imagine if there was another plant where it could only become activated if you completed one of the challenges, and so you get the coin. It has the RFID tag in the coin, and then in order to unlock like the boss challenge, you have to have the coin and put it on that plant or on that robot butterfly, and then it unlocks it, and then you get like the special like ultra level, mega level to complete. Oh yeah, that's such a cool idea. There's also the idea of like, we could place the tags around, and then if there's a reader in Robot Butterfly, then say if there's a tag on that tree, go tap the tree with the robot butterfly, it reads it and then it does a certain behavior. Yes, okay, I think I get it now. Yeah, that would be cool. So another thing about RoboBird was that I made this version where it had an NFC reader at the top of the creation's head, the geometry at the top of its head, right? And so I had these hats with NFC tags. You could place it on the RoboBird's head and it would do different dances. So that's like a similar thing, a similar idea here. We could have the robot butterfly with the reader, and then you tap it at the different tags at the different stations. Oh, and then if we reach that stretch goal of having the 3 characters to choose from, and then you go on the adventure, you could go to the specific stations, and then with the tag in the station, then the robot butterfly would like activate that routine for that station. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Oh, that's like a double stretch goal then to get that going. That would be so much fun though, because then you could, it makes sense then to wander around with Robot Butterfly and observe these points of interest in nature. Oh yeah, that would be so cool. I should get some of the reader breakout boards on AliExpress to experiment with and see which one has an antenna that's, maybe there's an antenna size that could fit within Robot Butterfly as it is right now. But even if not, we can 3D print a bigger enclosure. Oh, that's such a cool idea. Thanks for that idea. That would be so much fun. And even if we can't reach that far of the stretch goal, we could still use the NFC tags to go to a website. We could have we could have the NFC tags inside of a 3D printed like QR code, so then they would get to the web page no matter what, and maybe that web page could have like a virtual version of the quest cards. They could be animated too since it's digital. Even if we don't get the reader inside of Robot Butterfly, but if we get the MQTT to work, then they could press a button on the web page and then have it do something. Oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities. I like the immersive aspect of the tags. That would be so cool. Ah, great idea. Thank you. All right, let's see what we've got here. Live chat. All right, Delaware Pilot says no problem. Good luck. Yeah, thanks. All right, so everyone, the event itself ends at 3:30. So I have to pack up now, and then and I'll make sure for next time that there's no mistake on the Eventbrite. That was pretty silly, but yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. You made this event a success, even though there was a mistake with the operational side of the Eventbrite. But we got 6 people here virtually, which was incredible. Thanks so much for tuning in. I aim to do these live streams of the events more often. And the best part is that each iteration of the event gets better. We evolve and we iterate on each event. I just said the same words 2 times, sorry. So, to sum up, Robot in the Park is all about bringing creative art robots into nature to raise awareness about the environment and the outdoors world all around us. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you at the next Robot in the Park event. Until next time, get out there in nature with robots. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Thank you.